everyone. Thank you for coming today to the compliance office compliance meeting. It's very important. The reason is because we are going to get audit from time to time from different companies. And one of the questions they ask, will you be coming to have you been attending any compliance meeting? So that is a very important requirement from the fiscal. And I want people to understand. And after the meeting, we will have a small team meeting. Carol will explain what she received, what document she doesn't receive. When you come to audit, if you don't have this document, what is the problem in the future? We are going to give you an idea because we are here to help. 2 years, I think at least 10 years ago, when I put people into compliance and I make everybody to have the document to sign. At that time, people complained to me, Amy, why do you make us to do that? Once they have the audit, they come back and say that to me, okay, and our team. The reason is because now they know that all the document I make them to do it is important, that helps them when they come to the audit, And today we are so happy to have George coming to help us. George is come from Canada Life, we are going to learn a lot from George, Right now, I would like to pass it on to George, and then George, you can share your screen from now. Okay, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure to work with your MGA from time to time. For today's presentation, we will be discussing client data protection, securing personally owned hardware and media. A few housekeeping items before we get started. I'm just going to share my screen here. So to be eligible to receive CE credits for virtual events, you must be logged into the session independently with your first and last name and email address, and then view the presentation in its entirety. The time you log in and log out and the duration of the time spent is captured by the virtual platform used. If any of the criteria are not met, CE certificates cannot be issued as per our council guidelines. I will hold a session following our presentation to answer any questions that you may have. If there is a question that is beyond my scope or a question that I don't have the answer for, I will take down that question and pose it to our information technology and digital services team and get back to you with the answer. So without further ado, we'll start the presentation. As you can see, there's a lot that we're going to discuss today. We're going to look at PIPEDA and why it's so important. We're going to look at some of the risks that technology or mobile technology poses to advisors and clients these days.
Excuse me, George. George,
yes.
Do you have I don't think you are sharing your screen.
Oh.
Okay, can you try again? Yeah.
Okay, we'll try this again.
Now it's coming.
Okay,
you can go to the full screen, right?
All right.
Yeah. Now we have it. Okay, thank you so much.
Someone, thank you for letting me know. Okay, so as I was saying, our agenda today, we're going to look at different ways or different steps to take to protect client data, what some of the benefits are, items when it comes to computer security, as well as data storage options. We'll dive a little deep into using encryption, as well as cloud computing services and what the regulators have to say about cloud computing. And at the end, I'll take some questions and I'll also point you to a resource document, which is available on the Canada Life RepNet site under the compliance tab. It will include or talks to about everything we speak about today.
Last time.
Oh, 23. I spoke too soon.
So if I can ask everyone to put yourself on mute,
Okay.
because I can still hear people in the background, please, and thank you. just wait a few seconds for everyone to go on mute. All right, thank you. So background and purpose. This presentation outlines options and recommendations for adequately securing your client and business information maintained on personally owned computers and portable data storage devices. I still hear some background noise or some people in the background. Can you all make sure that you're on mute, please? Thank you. PIPEDA, otherwise known as the Personal Information Protection and Electronics Documents Act, is Canadian law governing how private sector organizations collect, use, and disclose personal information in the course of commercial business. PIPEDA was passed in 2000 to promote consumer trust in electronic commerce. PIPEDA incorporates and makes mandatory provisions of the Canadian Standards Association Model Privacy Code of 1995. The law gives individuals the right to know why an organization collects, uses, or discloses their personal information, expect an organization to collect, use, or disclose their personal information reasonably and appropriately, and not use the information for any purpose other than to which they have consented. Know who in the organization is responsible for protecting their personal information, and expect an organization to protect even if the individual refuses consent for collection, use, or disclosure of personal information, unless that information is essential to the transaction. Collect information by fair and lawful means, and have personal information policies that are clear, understandable, and readily available. Why is this so important? The protection and security of client and confidential information should be a priority for everyone. We understand the trust that clients place in us depends on our protection of their confidential information. News reports and complaints to the federal and provincial privacy commissioners highlight issues related to computer and portable data storage device theft. Client and personal information on these computers is at a risk for identity theft or other inappropriate access and use. These incidents often occur as a result of office or home break-ins or theft from vehicles or other public places. Such incidents are damaging to the reputation of the company and or the individual involved when client confidence is affected. It is important to ensure that your business is appropriately protecting the personal data of clients and prospects, and that it is in compliance with all applicable laws, for example, PIPEDA. Greater mobility risk. For mobile technology, the risk of theft is even greater. Working away from the bricks and mortar office means that you are also working outside of traditional physical security layers. As a result, you should consider reassessing the privacy and security risks associated with working remotely or traveling with mobile technology that has client information stored on it. What should I do to protect my client's data? You should take appropriate steps to safeguard confidential information, whether it's your own or that of your clients. This presentation discusses the risks associated with keeping data on computers and portable data storage devices and offers practical advice on how to reduce these risks. Once you have decided on which steps you will take to implement security measures, all components of that solution, for example, additional software, some BIOS, operating system upgrades, patches, portable storage devices, firmware, or software should be kept up to date to ensure that your protection solution continues to function as expected. Implementing some of these options may require significant technical capability. You are encouraged to consult with your technology provider for assistance in completing this process. Also, properly shut down your machine when it is unattended or being transported. If you only log off or lock or leave the device in standby or sleep mode, any additional security measures could be ineffective. If your computer is lost or stolen and it was not shut down or does not have data protection, you may be required to notify those clients whose information was stored on that machine. So what are some of the key benefits? Appropriately securing the data of your computers and portable data storage devices will help protect client information in the event that your computers or portable data storage devices are lost or stolen. You can confidently assure clients who are concerned about the security of their personal information that you are taking appropriate measures. Computer security, the whole picture. There are many factors in a sound technology security.
It was stupid.
May I ask once again that everyone check their settings and ensure that you're on mute, please? Thank you.
What do I do now?
There are many factors in a sound technology security policy. This presentation outlines options for implementing a strategy to deal with data protection on computers, portable data storage devices, and removable media. A more complete list of other aspects of computer security is as follows. Physical security. Ensuring computers are located in facilities that are adequately secure and any portable storage devices are stored in a location accessible only to authorized personnel. Physical device protection, especially for laptops. This includes physical protection measures such as security cabling and authentication and authorization ID protection, ensuring all users of a computer confirm their identity and are only authorized to see what they are required to see to fulfill their business role. Ensuring portable storage devices requires the user to confirm their identity before accessing data stored on the actual device. Idle management. Verifying the state of the computer or portable storage device is left if unattended and not explicitly secured for a period. Computer sharing. Authentication and authorization practices related to regularly sharing a computer across multiple users, and operating system and key software patch management. Keeping the operating system and other key software suites, such as Microsoft Office, up to date with the latest security patches. Virus protection. Having it installed and active with the latest version of virus ID files. These products should be running in a live scan mode where they are proactively scanning files for viruses as well as running periodic full scans. Spyware and malware protection. Having it installed and active with the latest spyware and malware ID files. Some newer portable data storage devices, such as USB flash drives, support onboard malware protection to ensure that malware is not passed from computer to computer. Network firewall protection. Implementing a hardware, software, or combination firewall to protect computers regularly connected to high-speed internet from outside attack. Computer data protection. Protecting data saved on the computer from malicious disclosure in the event of computer theft. Portable data storage and removable media data protection. The same outcome as computer data protection, but extended to data copied from the computer onto removable media such as CDs, DVDs, diskettes, or portable storage devices, for example, USB flash drives. Email and instant messaging protection. protection from virus, spyware, malware attack initiated through the receipt of infected emails. Wireless access management, including all types of access, proper configuration and securing of wireless services to ensure that network signals cannot be inappropriately intercepted by others, and proper data disposal in the event of a sale or donation, ensuring data no longer required has been adequately destroyed so it cannot be recovered by others who eventually come into contact with the media. Computer data protection options. Full hard drive encryption is now mandated on all devices that will be interfacing with corporate systems or storing client data. A selection of commercial products, as outlined in this slide, are recommended options to encrypt hard drives. Encryption uses software installed on the computer to encrypt all data stored locally on the hard drive. It turns current data on the hard drive into an incomprehensible code that can only be viewed by those able to enter the correct password. It's important to note that all of these options presented may require you to create, maintain, and remember another set of password credentials other than those you currently use to log onto your computer and or local area network. For these situations to be effective, it's important that you create a different password than the one that you currently use to access that particular computer. Chosen in the industry as an effective way to protect sensitive data on computers that are stolen. The real advantages of this type of solution are robustness and completeness, low administration. Once installed and configured, it's transparent to the user except at boot up, does not rely on the user to protect the right information. All data is automatically protected, protects temporary files created by the software, and is universally applicable as a solution for multiple types of computers. Portable data storage options. Portable data storage devices are not part of the computer itself, but rather can be made accessible via the computer by attaching them, typically via USB connection. While attached to a computer, present themselves and are managed like another hard drive, are compact and convenient enough to easily transport from location to location. These devices typically come in one of two types. Portable hard drives, which is a traditional hard drive technology similar to that found in your computer, with additional onboard power management and disk controller circuitry to support USB connection to a computer. And there's a flash memory.
Okay, sorry about that.
I'm sorry, can I ask that you place yourself on mute? May I ask that you place yourselves on mute, please? Thank you. And flash memory drives. These are thumb drives, memory keys, etc. They're very small flash memory-based devices with additional onboard power management circuitry that utilizes flash memory to stimulate hard drive storage. Point of purchase questions. Ask the vendor or retailer the following questions. Does the device support encryption of all data stored on it without the purchase of additional software? Is the encryption approach strength is substantially more secure than a software alternative? Does the encryption approach support minimum cipher strength of a 256-bit AES or advanced encryption standard? Anything less powerful may put your data at unnecessary risk. As well as how transparent is data encryption management to the user? Does it encrypt or decrypt data stored on the device without interfering with or requiring requiring explicit management by the device user? Does the device support the use of a strong password? Are there any password entry restrictions for the device that would prevent the user from setting up a strong password? Minimum 8 characters, combination of letters, mixed case, numbers, and symbols to authorize use. Does the device support lockdown or self-wipe after a defined number of invalid password attempts? Some portable storage devices support onboard tracking of a defined number of consecutive invalid password entry attempts, after which the device is either locked down from any further unrestricted authorization attempts and/or initiates a wipe of all data currently stored on the device based on the assumption that it has fallen into unauthorized hands. The most sophisticated of these devices permit users to configure the number of invalid authorization attempts before the security operation is carried out. And lastly, does the vendor provide any central management services or alternative approaches to support authorized device password recovery should it be forgotten? Passwords, when not used regularly, can be easily forgotten. In the case of an encrypted portable device, the password is misplaced or forgotten without a recovery alternative. Access to the data previously stored on the device could be lost forever. Some vendors provide, as part of the purchase of their devices, access to a central management console or telephone support service to assist the registered user or the owner of the device in regaining access to the data stored on the device in the event of a lost or forgotten password. So portable storage device selection. It should be noted that USB flash drives come in sizes of up to 256 gigabytes or more, but the price point beyond 64 gigabytes is more expensive, and it becomes most economical to purchase a portable hard drive in the 1 terabit plus range. 1 terabit is approximately 1,000 gigabytes. Encrypted USB flash and portable drive options. If you are considering purchasing a USB flash drive, for example, thumb drive or jump drive or memory key, typically in the 1 gig to 256 gigabyte size range, suitable hardware encrypted options will include ScanDisk Cruiser Professional, Kingston Data Traveler Secure Devices, or CE Secure Vault FIPS flash drive. If you are considering purchasing a portable USB drive, typically the 1 terabyte plus size range, suitable hardware encrypted options will include Lenovo ThinkPad USB portable secure hard drive. Many hard drive encryption packages that encrypt your primary drive will also encrypt external drives and USB devices. Using USB-based portable storage devices safely. USB-based portable storage devices that can be easily connected to different computers introduce the risk of cross-computer virus and or malware infection. To minimize the risk of such cross-computer infection and potentially loss of backup data stored on these devices, it is prudent to follow the first 2 steps outlined in the bulletin. Disable the auto-run features on all computers using this and other shared portable storage devices. And number 2, regularly scanning all data stored on any portable storage device with a reputable antivirus or malware product before accessing any of the files. Removable media options. Storage of data on removable media, for example, CD or a DVD, poses unique challenges. The media is mobile, making it easy to misplace, remove, or transport with little or no detection. Protection of the data must be accomplished prior to writing it to the media, as this media provides no onboard protection capabilities. The first line of defense is good physical security. Ensure any removable media that contains backups or copies of sensitive client information is stored in a secure location only accessible by authorized personnel. Physical security does not protect removable media while in transit to a secure storage location, nor is it applicable for items that have been misplaced or inappropriately discarded. To ensure an adequate level of protection, data should be encrypted prior to being written to removable media. This can be accomplished through several approaches. Document level encryption uses the native features of the tool that creates and manages a particular document type, such as Microsoft Office or a PDF writer, to encrypt the content of the document and assign a password. Multiple document and/or folder archiving and encryption uses a data archiving tool such as WinZip to create an encrypted archive that contains multiple files or even folders of files and assigns a password for authorized access to the archive. Commercial endpoint security encryption software. Many commercial encryption software vendors not only encrypt data stored on the hard drive, but have the capability to extend this encryption to any data written to a portable data storage and or removable media connected to the encrypted computer. Data backup software. Most commercial data backup software packages support writing of backed up data to removable media and encryption of this data prior to placing on removable media. Some other things worth considering in securing handling of removable media will include properly labeling removable media to remind yourself of the importance and classification of data stored on disks. If transporting removable media while traveling, do not pack it in checked luggage. Always keep them in your carry-on bag. Cloud computing services. You've probably heard about cloud computing. It's the delivery of computing services over the internet. It offers services to small to medium-sized businesses, which can significantly reduce infrastructure costs through virtual storage. Storing information virtually may sound like a good idea since you can save money by not having to upgrade your computers to hold more memory. But cloud computing carries a substantial risk of privacy breach, and a privacy breach could occur. Companies which offer cloud computing store large amounts of information drawn from several sources in a centralized location. Often this location is outside of Canada. Under Canada's privacy laws, you are responsible for protecting personal information collected from clients or prospective clients. Even if you provide data to a third party for storage, you remain responsible for that information. For that reason, you must notify a client or prospective client if you plan to use a cloud computing service. That notification must include a warning that their personal information may be stored outside of Canada. If they object, you cannot use cloud computing to store their information. Here are some of the risks to think about when considering cloud computing. Privacy. Who can see the client's personal information? Do the staff at the cloud computing service companies have access? Compliance. Does the cloud service provider allow you access to the logs? Does it log in enough detail for your auditors? Data security. Does the cloud service provider retain the data in encrypted format? What security features are available and enabled? What happens to data at the time of data at the end of the contract or completion of service? And ownership. Is the cloud service provider owned by a reputable company? Can you determine who is actually offering this service? Cloud computing and the regulators. So the Privacy Commissioner of Canada, as well as the offices of the Information and Privacy Commissioner of Alberta and British Columbia, have created a resource offering information about cloud computing. Their advice includes to pay close attention to cloud service contracts. For example, does the fine print allow the cloud company to sell or otherwise disclose any information you store on the cloud? Are customers aware their personal information might be outsourced, and do you have their consent? And know where in the world this data is stored and what laws may apply regarding access and disclosure. And on that note, my friends, I will take some questions and do my best to provide you with some answers. I will let you know once again that everything that I presented to you today is available on the Canada Life RepNet Advisor site under the Compliance tab, and the document is called Client Data Protection. If you ever wanted to reference anything that was shared or communicated today, that is your go-to place. So I will open up the floor to some questions. Amy or Tiro, do you see or have any questions on your end? Oh, we have someone here.
Sorry. Sorry, we are having something. There are some questions on the chat box. Can you look at that?
Yeah. I just noticed there is a question. One of the questions is, I don't have BitLocker on my version of Windows 11. What can you recommend to encrypt a flash drive? I think there was something, I'm just going to take a look at my slides here, that answers that question. Okay, I'm just going to take down that question and the advisor's name. And I will get back to the advisor and to the MGA on the exact answer. So again, the question was, I don't have BitLocker on my version of Windows 11. What can you recommend to encrypt a flash drive? So thank you for that question. And I will get you the answer. Any other questions that we may have in the chat room? Amy, I think you're on mute.
Okay.
There we go.
You can raise your hand, and so we can unmute you, right? So what is that? Oh, there are more questions. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that any question? There is one more question. What is the question? We are seeing.
Okay, so the next question.
Yes, okay, there's another question. We were asked about, can you read that question?
Yep, we asked about cybersecurity hygiene program. Can you talk a little bit about that? So cybersecurity hygiene security program, I'm assuming you're referring to an antivirus or malware, a software. Many computers come these days loaded with such type of software. I know McAfee is one of them that I use. But if you're looking for any specific kinds that we would recommend, I can certainly get back to you and let you know. So I will certainly forward you some recommendations in terms of a good cybersecurity program.
Okay. So if we have no more question, we can finish this session, but we have a follow-up team meeting. Please stay on for 15 minutes. I have another suggestion. If you have any question later on, please feel free to email to us and we can send it to George. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and if you do have any other questions, by all means, send them to me and I will get back to you with the answers. So,
yes, well, yeah, thank you, George. Really appreciate such a good presentation. Give us a lot of heads up and we have to prepare ourselves before any audit, right? So that is very important for us to know. Thank you, George.
Well, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me and yeah, all the best to everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So
Bye-bye.
stay on, everyone. Taro is going to explain a little bit about what is she has a lot of experience of looking at the application, and we have to be very thorough about all the procedures and all that, right? So Taro, can you give us some comment of the things that we have to pay attention? Taro, are you here? Yeah. Okay. She's coming here.
Hi, everyone. So I do want to touch on about the compliance that was done today. When you do get audit, where this information or what George talked about today can be inputted is in the what's that called? The AML and then the privacy brochures. So that place, it will ask you like when is the last time you have attended, and this is one of the sessions you can put in. In October, we'll have another one done by Desjardins. So attend that as well. It's going to be on a completely different topics. Now, as for what I've seen from advisors when they hand in the compliance package is make sure you complete them. It's very important. I understand that a lot of clients, they just approach you with knowing the amount that they want and the coverage they want. They don't want to go through the whole needs analysis. They don't want to tell you their monthly expenses. You note that on the financial needs analysis, make sure you note that saying you've discussed it, the client has declined. Don't just leave it empty, give me an empty copy. At least put that you've talked with the client, you've discussed it, they know exactly what they want. They refuse to do the analysis. Write that sentence down there, have the client both sign it. It's a way of protecting you and the client as well. And then the advisor disclosures, make sure you complete that. If it's a referral from someone or your, a referral program that you've received, indicate that. If you are working, have a second occupation, depend on what it is. If you're not sure, consult us first, and then we'll let you know that how to word that or how to put that down in your advisor disclosure form. But it's very important that you keep a documentation, a client file of keep client emails as well, the communications you've had, keep those on your file, even though that's not really needed by the compliance package, but keep that as a client note, because you can always refer back to it. The last thing you want your client is to come back and say, this is not what I said in the application. Why is it there? No, we're also working on implementing letters of policy acknowledgement or application acknowledgements to have both the agent and the client sign, saying that, because clients, a lot of times they don't review the application until 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road when they find this booklet, right? So, and then they arise that, oh, this is not what I said, or this is not my medical, there's a misrepresentation or miscommunication, and all of these problems arises afterwards. So when the client receive it, make the policy, and even at the time of application, even at the time of the delivery, make sure that they've acknowledged they've received it, they've reviewed the application, the information is correct or up to date, and have both of you sign it. Keep that letter on file so it just doesn't come back and harm the agent in the end. What else is there? And also the reason why letter. Yes, a lot of people kind of just don't write the reason why letter, which you need to. It's needed. The template we gave, it's very, I know it's empty, but we separate it into like the recommendations you've made, what you've talked about, what was the conclusions, and you follow-ups on it. If you don't know where to start with writing that, let me know. We do have like a pre-made template that you kind of can just fill in, but still, that is just a pre-made template for everyone in general, but each client, it has its specific needs. So write that according to your client specific needs, as these are the documents that insurance companies will see. They are going to review it when they audit you for each client file. They're going to see if you have a reason why, if you have a needs analysis, if you have an advisor disclosure. So that's it on all. And also, if it's a replacement policy, make sure you keep that replacement form questionnaire on file as well. Even for that, when you hand in the policies, applications for doing a replacement, they require you to have that as well at the time of application. So it's not just something on the side that you've kept. You need that for applying. So keep that on file as well. On my part, that's it. I don't have anything. Amy, do you have anything else?
Thank you. Okay, I have a suggestion to everyone. You know, a lot of people say that people do not want to let me know their situation. One thing everybody loves you to help them is the cash flow. You know, you say that I'm not getting information for you. I want to manage your cash flow. If I can increase more cash flow to you, you know, so people will say, wow. So how do we increase more cash flow for the client? It's a debt management. You know, so at that time, we can look at their debt, what type of interest they are paying, and how should they manage their debt. You know, that is something that you can increase the cash flow. So when you talk to the client, try to say that I'm helping you to take care of the cash flow. You're not saying that I do a financial need analysis, how much you make. I always start with how much you spend. People love to tell you how much they spend. And then what is the obligations? What is the interest? This is how I start with the cash out. Then after that, I go to the cash in. How much is the income? Then I put it all there, and I have a program. Then we can just calculate and know that how much is the net cash flow. You know, I'm going to do a seminar like from time to time about that. You know, but then I want you guys to also have your own a set of rules to help the client to put on the cash out, cash in. Then in this case, you can know how you determine the need. There are 4 types of need that you can take care of. Number 1, debt, covering the debt. So if you know that they have 1 million or 2 million of debt, it's very easy. You say, my establishment of the need is the debt coverage. Leveraging, you know, and then the second one is income need. Let's say the client earned 50,000 income, right, or 100,000. They say 10 times of the income. So I base on the income need, or I base on the expense need. My client need 20 years of the expenses to be covered. So we can use all the expenses times 20. There is something that you have to establish when you come to the need analysis, right? So we can decide what to do. The last one is the need to be complicated. Perpetual income need. That means the client want to have even though if they pass away, they want to have the income continuously doing it. So what you need to do, using what the income they have divided by the interest that they can earn from the investment. That is the capital they need to get a perpetual income, right? So there are 4 ways, to me, at least 4 ways of establishing how you need to look at the income need. When it comes to estate planning, we can go to the Canada Life. They have a very good software when we talk about it many times. Then you can show them if they pass away, how much tax they have to pay. Then we can cover what is the resources they can get to cover the tax. In that case, you can explain to the client is the estate planning need, you know. So this is all the things that you can put into the need analysis. At the same time, the client loves to talk to you. Right now, many clients lining up and ask me to help them to look at all the cash flow, you know, and help them to look at the business cash flow, you know. So we become an accountant now, okay? Not really, but then they think we are the one who help them to take care of all the financial picture. I say, do you want to have a better idea about your financial picture? and then I'm the one to come and help. Okay, so I hope everybody understand that. And then the compliance is something we show to the people, but I think it also help us to straighten up our business, but how to make it easier, not to make it complicated, how to make the client comply with what we need. We have to have a trick. Instead of saying that I need to know all the things that you have. No, I want to know what is your cash outflow. And I want to help you to increase the cash flow. Everybody want people to increase the cash flow, enhance their net worth. This is what I said. Increase your cash flow, enhance your net worth. I hope everybody, this is my way of approaching my client. Okay? Any other question? Please feel free to let me know. Okay? Yeah. I hope you like the program today. Okay, thank you. Thanks for everyone. So from time to time, we have a lot of webinar. Please come in, and every time I'll try my best to give you my experience, my sales experience at the end of the meeting to correlate to what the speaker said, so like this is something that I'm going to do it all the time. Okay, yeah, thank you. And also I like to interview other people, other agents that they are very good on that topic. Sometimes I do the interview with different agents. All right, thank you. So like happy sales and happy long weekend. Okay, we have a long weekend. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Amy, quick question.
Yes.
For the documentation to the client, even for the prospect, like Carol just mentioned, do we need to start writing some notes and put in the file, or only until we make a
I think
sale?
it's a good habit.
To
It's a good habit too. You don't know which prospect will become a client, right? I always have note for the prospect. Once they become a client, I can put this note into the client file. Okay, so I will recommend people to start. Whenever you talk to a prospect, start to document everything. Once they become a client, transfer all this into your client file.
Okay, so in terms of compliance, the pre-sale part is more like for our documentation.
Yeah,
but in terms of compliance, is that when we make a sale?
Yes, they do, right? But then this is something that's supporting everything.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
so happy sales and